All right, so welcome back. Episode number 7, No Cap Sports. You know what I'm saying? The Marquette King episode. Shout out to the legendary Raiders punter, man. And so, as always, we got to start y'all off with that fire, man.
Man, appreciate you, Nick. Unfortunately, we got to start this one off on a rather somber mode, and talking about discussing it before we started recording. Something I did not realize how long he had gone without recording a 5 segment, but we actually haven't recorded one since Adolphus Thornton died. More commonly known as Young Dolph. I know a lot of people know about him as a CEO of Paper Route Empire, Memphis rap mogul, and financially aware superstar, young black man in our city. So unfortunately, he was a victim of gun violence. How long ago was that, y'all? At this point,
It was right after Thanksgiving, but right
man.
before Thanksgiving.
Right
Actually.
before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So over a month now. It's crazy um, how big of an impact they had around the city. But so, not in lieu of anything, but just give offering our condolences to him and his family. It's very saddening. It seems to be that's where we come from. People just seem to have more hatred than love in their heart. To see somebody that was doing things in the community, doing stuff for others, and being a blessing, because it's very easy to get rich, get your money, and never leave your hometown and never come back to where you're from. But he didn't do that. He did not. He didn't. Not only did he not do that, but he continuously gave out of the kindness of his heart to a variety of different people. So I gotta say, rest in peace. But that being said, for our 5 segment, we will go through our 5 favorite Dolph songs and what memory are they associated with. But let me start. I go from 5 and I'll work my way up. So many good songs here. 5, Rich Crack Baby. Rich Crack off the album, Rich Crack Baby, the single. It is one of Dolph's more vulnerable tracks in terms of just got his upbringing. It doesn't sound like it, but if you really are in tune with the lyrics, he's telling a very somber story. Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with a collaboration. That's one of my favorites. There are multiple reasons why one of my favorites, but whenever you able to get the legend Do Double G in the building, get a collaboration with him is definitely something special. So his song with Dolph, I Think I Can Fly, off a Role Model. Then it came out in 2018. Yeah, just very sing songy, very melodic. A lot of people have linked up with Snoop Dogg, but not a lot of people have made iconic bangers, in my opinion, like that one. So that'll be number 4. Number 3, let's get to the crunch time very quickly. We're talking about like all time songs. The first time I really heard Dolph on the radio and in the club, well, not in the club, like in the teen club, and like really being aware of him, his song with Chains, 2 Chains, Get This Money. That was High Class Street Music 3, not 4, but 3. But yeah, that came out. High Class Street Music 3 came out in what, 2013, 2014. So I was like in 8th grade. And I know y'all know how they get this money started. They start with the intro and then they rewind it back. You got 2 Chains and the sirens and the horns. And yeah, it's just like an iconic song. So like making my list for this segment, there were a lot of these. But I remember like I basically, because there were so many songs, I had to go based on the emotions that the different songs evoked. And when I heard that song, Get This Money, I actually thought of like 7th grade, Dream Ball, 8.0, whatever iteration of Dream Ball was when we was 13 or 14. Yeah, it just instantly took me back to that time. So it's just something that where, like I said, Dolph really didn't make any bad music, honestly. But there are just certain songs that evoke stronger emotions than others. So number 2, going back to the High Class Street Music series, the intro, High Class Street Music 4, when he was on with Gucci Man, and he was really starting to kind of solidify himself. The intro song to that mixtape was popping. I can recite that intro bar for bar, word for word. Like I might know it better than Dolph at this point, honestly. Then number 1, I'll find it hard for y'all to argue with this because this is like the song that Dolph is known for. Preach, obviously, off of the DJ Holiday mixtape I can't even remember. Oh my God, 2015, I think. And yeah, like it doesn't matter where you at. Like that song came out over half a decade ago, and it's still as culturally relevant as it was when it first dropped. So yeah, that's my list. I don't think there's any obvious omissions, but like Van said, there's just so many different songs that Dolph has that are timeless. Yeah. So let me hear y'all's list. Let's go. Let Nick go. So I'll say Vance, the fella asked.
Yeah, the best.
Whatever, bro.
So, my list, I just kept it simple. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go too deep into the like, most popular songs, all of that. So I went with my real favorites. Number 5, Back Against the Wall off that 16 Zips mixtape. One of my favorite mixtapes ever, bro. And then number 4, gotta go with Drippy. Drippy, just the beat on that song just go crazy. Dolph flowing and all of that. Number 3, this the song that put me on Dolph when I was young. I was in like 6th, 7th grade. It's that A plus.
A
Riding
plus.
school.
It
That's what
was
I'm
number
saying.
6 on mine, bro. It was number 6.
Right?
That's a good
Yeah,
call.
but it's on the list on mine, so you already know how that go. So that A plus go crazy. Number 2, this is a sleeper, bro. Like a lot of people don't know it, but the ones that do know what it is. It's that Trick or Treat. That might be Dolph hardest song, bro. In all honesty, it just might. And number one, the best song in my opinion Dolph has ever dropped. Got the second greatest rapper alive ever on it, 2 Chainz. I'm Blessed off the Welcome to Dolph World mixtape. If you don't know that song, you got a problem.
No, I like your
Flow's
list.
so hot, but the beat so ice cold.
Ice cold.
You said 2
Come on,
Chainz is the
man.
second best
Man.
rapper ever?
Yeah.
All right, keep going, Vance, if I get mad. We ain't got that much time.
But
Chicken not
anyways,
real?
bro, I could give you guys a top 15, but instead, I know you said 5. I'm gonna give you 7 since it's episode number 7 for Trayvon Diggs, the best corner in the game. So in no order, I'm gonna give you 7. Number 1, Point Across. Number 2, Get Paid. Number 3, F It. Number 4, Royalty. Number 5, Preach. Number 6, of course, I got to go with 100 Shots. And number 7, I guarantee you, if you play this around your girlfriend, she gonna think you love her, bro. Play Forever, bro.
Hey, on God.
Forever,
on
bro.
God.
Black women love that. That might be black women's favorite song, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie for it. I debated putting it on my list. The only reason I didn't was because it had T.I. on it.
The disrespect for Tip continues. Ignorance at its finest. My thing, but we can break after this, Nick. Obviously, a lot of times we have these different lists. We do rankings and listening like that. There's a lot of overlap between the three of us, but you can tell by the amount of music that Dolph put out. I don't think there was any overlap in none of our lists in the top 5. So I think that definitely speaks to the amount of versatility, the amount of music they put out, and the different type of anthems and feelings that he evoked, and the quality of stuff that he put out there. You can almost like you could go to your Apple Music, pull up, type in Young Dolph, close your eyes, and you scroll, and you'll live with a click on a banger. So man, that sucks, dog. It sucks that he's no longer here to make any more music with us.
So now we would be remiss if we didn't talk about COVID coming back and having a major impact on sports. Why you got your hand up?
Waiting to speak, bro. That's why you raise your hand. Can I speak real quick, fool?
Of course.
Bruh, serious question. Is there another way to use the word remiss besides the way that you just used it?
I don't remember how he used it, to be honest.
We would be remiss. That's the only way I've ever heard the word remiss used. Like in that exact.
Shit, when Russell Westbrook shoot the ball, that's what he do.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I'm good.
That's good. But man, you should go to Chuckles, bro. Do your little stand up. That was good. All right, I'll be quiet.
But back to it, man. Talking about COVID, it's had a major impact on the NBA and NFL already. You look at the NBA; they already have 205 players in protocols, with 169 players entering protocols over the past 2 weeks. So this, of course, had a big impact on Christmas Day. You think about Christmas, that's the big day for the NBA. Everybody sit down, watch the full slate of NBA games. However, this Christmas, big name players like Kevin Durant, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, all did not play on Christmas because of health and safety protocols. And to be honest, the games just weren't the same without those big name stars in those games. And then if you flip it over and you look to the NFL, the NFL is having very similar problems. They've had over 400 players test positive in the month of December alone. And if you compare that to last year only 262 total players tested positive throughout the whole season. Now, if you think about it, just look at the NFL. Like I said, the NBA has had a profound impact on games. It's had the same impact in the NFL. The Monday night game this week, the Saints versus the Dolphins. The Saints were without both their starting quarterbacks, Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian. So they had to start rookie Ian Book at quarterback. And to make matters worse, they were missing 4 of their defensive starters, including Malcolm Jenkins and Demario Davis. So just looking at this whole COVID situation, what do you guys think so far?
It's bigger than the sports. The CDC, they cut it down from 10 days to 5 days. So it's about to just be like we about to just treat it like it's the flu. Honestly, that's what I'm really seeing in the future, just in terms of the world. Now, if you got, it's too far to go back, especially in the NBA. It's like the best thing that they did was the bubble. It was no COVID cases. But I don't see them going back to a bubble. I just see them, if you catch COVID, you catch COVID. It's too bad, so sad. Especially, just imagine playoffs coming up in the NFL. Imagine Pat Mahomes misses a game. Yeah. Chiefs not win out. Who the backup for the Chiefs? Don't nobody know.
Anything is possible,
Matt
bro.
Moore, maybe?
What they do.
Matt Moore?
Bro, who cares? They're gonna lose. It's just like if Tom Brady gets COVID, Kyle Trask gonna go in there and lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl? No. It's just like anything can happen. That's really a wild card. And so now, once you get to the NBA playoffs, LeBron has to sit out for a couple of days until he gets a negative test.
That's
but
2 games if it's 5 days.
Facts. NFL's getting lazy with it. Have you seen that now? If you're asymptomatic, you're not feeling sick or anything, they're not going to test you at all. Yeah. I mean, it's the best thing if you're a fan of sports, bro. It's the best thing. But if you're a fan of health, bro, it's the worst thing possible that you can do, bro. Whole league's gonna have COVID eventually.
I think the NFL. I think you got to look at it 2 ways from the NFL standpoint, because, like you said, you're getting to that critical juncture in the NFL. So all these team leaders, all these players, because this was an agreement at the end of the day between the NFL and the NFLPA. You got the majority of the league vaccinated, because it's only the vaccinated players that only have to it's only the vaccinated players that don't have to test daily or do regular testing. Only the vaccinated players have to test if they're sick. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is best for trying to make sure, you can go through the playoffs with who will be able to play. You know what I'm saying? No surprise cases, no nothing like that. You can go in with your starting 11 feeling good, because if everybody's healthy, all of that, everything's good. But I think the problem comes in with, you got a Sunday night playoff game. Are you really going to report your symptoms if you're sick? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? That's the scary part. But I think I understand where the NFL is coming from and the NFLPA, in the sense of, let's get these players to play as many games as possible, especially the vaccinated ones and the boosted ones who have, increased immunity to COVID. But there are still those players out there who don't have that and who are, still higher risk than other players and could potentially become very sick because of the virus.
Should unvaccinated players get the same perks?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
Definitely not. None of the Cole Beasleys, bro, are surviving out here.
Or Kyrie Irving. I mean,
we don't slander black men on this show, Vance. You keep.
No, I'm asking. I mean, those really the 2 biggest cases: Kyrie and Cole Beasley.
But I mean, if you look at Cole Beasley case, though, he had over like 10,000, 100,000 in like COVID-related fines. So it's like he just didn't care.
He paying all that money to be a Republican. That's crazy. Here's my thing, though. That's from my perspective, it just seems to be super frustrating. And like Vance said, it's not just a thing at this point with sports. It seems to be a global problem. It's a global pandemic. This continues to be a global problem. For me personally, I speak on the public. I mean, publicly. Like, I'm vaccinated. I just got a booster shot last week, and still, like, I'm walking around. I went to the studio today. I wore a mask. I feel weird in public without a mask. I see people coughing, sneeze. I still look at them like they just got an AK in their pocket. I'm like, for me, and I know it's amplified to the umpteenth degree because you're a professional athlete and you have to go through rigorous testing and making sure you're vaccinated and keeping in the right company and all that. It's like, damn, what did I take all these shots for? Like, it's just very frustrating because like a majority of the guys, all professional, I would say a majority of professional athletes are both vaccinated and boosted at this point, and we continue to be on a track to where um, leagues might be paused. I'm saying the NHL just took a pause. Adam Silver had to address the NBA potentially taking a pause. How much better are we off 2 years into this thing than when it originally started? That's my thing. Like we seem to have made little to no progress in terms of handling this issue and effectively working around it and making sure that, like Van said, it's looking like it's going to be essentially going to become a part of the flu now. But like I'm saying, like I mean, sometimes guys miss games with like flu-like symptoms, but the flu is never this big of an issue. Never caused this amount of money to be flushed down the toilet. I'll say that.
I mean, chances are the way it's looking like for the rest of our lives, we're gonna have to wear masks.
I hate that, bro. Are you for? I mean, I know you're for real.
Unless they just flat out find something to cure it, but it keeps going to be in a new variant, so the corona is evolving just like what we are, bro.
You got to stay ahead of the curve, and then like it's a seasonal thing. Like I said, you know what I'm saying. You get to December, you get to the winter month. Of course, it's gonna ramp back up. You know what I'm saying. Just like the flu, just like other diseases we're used to. But I think like you look at it from a professional athlete perspective, it's like like what Josh said, it's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at Lonzo Ball, a guy who was always like, all I do is hoop, go back home and play the game, and he comes down with COVID, and it's like it's really hard to not test positive, especially with the new Omicron variant, which is just so like easily widespread. Even though it isn't as like deadly or harmful, it's just so easily spread.
Man, bro, why are Mario out here making diseases, bro? That's ridiculous. I thought he was
did that little dance, bro. It ain't been.
Oh God, let me. That was bad. Wow, he touch disease. Nah, that's crazy though. But now, like, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like, I would be so frustrated as a professional, like even being a D1, being a D1 athlete, like I had to I got vaccinated before the season, but I still had to test every like first of the month. But the guys that weren't vaccinated, yeah, I had to test every like when we had went to the conference championship game, I had to get tested the week before. On that Monday I had to get tested. But the guys that weren't vaccinated were still getting tested 3 times a week, every week. And it's just like, even you take a group like that, and now you're applying the unvaccinated protocol to everybody because, like you said, with the Omicron virus, I know what I'm saying, people. It's you can get it as easily whether you're vaccinated, boosted, double boosted. So it's like I would just look at with some of these athletes because I don't know anybody's personal feelings about the vaccine. You're allowed to have any feelings that you want to. That's another problem that I might talk about another day. How we're not allowed to have real opinions. But the way I'm feeling, I know the way a lot of these athletes are feeling is like, man, I'm consistently getting poked and prodded. A lot of them are still probably getting touched right up their nose and long sticks right up their nose semi-regularly. And it's like, A, how long am I going to have to keep doing this? And B, I took all the shots. I did everything they said I would have to do to not have to go through this. Why am I still going through it? And why is this as big an issue as it is? I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated watching it. Like I said, like Nick said, I'm watching some of these Christmas Day games. Like, why does Kemba Walker have a triple double? He was not in the rotation like a couple of weeks ago. Like, what is going on? Like, it just you got guys coming out of like the Parker Park to join the NBA and stupid stuff like that.
Thomas, Lance Stevenson coming back.
Man, Greg Monroe played in the NBA.
Moneybag, yo. I'm like, bro, like they're as aspiring sports analysts. I don't know, maybe for y'all. When I look at a NBA basketball game, I can usually identify all 10 guys. At least, like, I know their name, know where they came, went to school, things like that. Bruh, I was watching the Thunder play, and they had
you don't know nobody on that team regardless.
Chill out. No cap. They might have had a dude from White Station on their team, and I wouldn't have knew it for no cap. Man. I was watching the Warriors game. I said, when did Chris Joseph start becoming the starting point guard for the Warriors? It's looking really real G League. When the baseball had the lock, it's looking real like I don't know what they call it, but it's looking real replacement player like. So I'm not messing with the quality of play right now. No cap.
So to be honest, back the bubble or no for the playoffs?
I think no because I think the way the NBA tweaked their protocols, I think that's the better route to go because that way if you're vaccinated, you still get like shorter quarantine because like it all comes down to how you test. And basically, just a little quick sum up, like you know what I'm saying. When they give you the PCR test, the one that take a couple days to get back to you, you got to run it through cycles. And I just figured this out, like basically whatever cycle COVID, you know what I'm saying, the coronavirus shows up when they test you, the bigger the number, like the more number of cycles they run, the lesser the amount of COVID you have. The smaller the number of cycles you have, the more amount of COVID you have. So basically what I'm saying is once you get to those bigger numbers, you have a less amount of COVID, and the less amount of COVID you have, the less infectious it is. And so I didn't, I just doing some research found that out. So basically, if you got a small amount of COVID, you can still play because you're not infectious, just like any other disease. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get the flu, when you stop having the temperature, you're not infectious no more. Same thing. So it's like I think the NBA is going about it the smart way, trying to keep players in and trying to get them out as soon as possible. So I think like the NBA is going about it in a way that can prevent the bubble from happening and can continue to play high level basketball, through these winter months until you get back to those warmer months when those COVID cases decrease.
Thank you, Dr. Hayes.
And I was just scrolling through Twitter. I'm gonna just because Woj tweets out all the people getting 10 days now. Let me read off some names. No, I'm for real. Please tell me, do y'all recognize these names? Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah,
I know. Former Celtics point guard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Gabe York.
Nah. I know him. He went to Arizona, actually.
Yeah. He did. Okay. Earl Clark.
Yeah, he went to Louisville. I know.
He's from Memphis.
Yeah.
I know y'all not gonna know this one. This is crazy. Eric Holman. Eric with an A.
Huh?
Eric Holman. No cap, bro. Eric Holman.
Yeah.
That's a fake.
It's a no for me.
His best attribute driving it. He's on his way to San Antonio to meet. Oh my God, it's crazy. He's driving himself to an NBA basketball game, bro. That's ridiculous to me. Let's see, because I was looking at some names. I'm like, bro.
No. So the Celtics played the Timberwolves 2 days ago on Monday. Their starting five was Josh Okogie, Jaden McDaniels, Malik Beasley. So we know those three.
I was about to say that.
The other starting guard was Jordan McLaughlin. Never heard of him.
He went to USC. He's bald. He's been bald since he was 18 though. That's so unfortunate.
And Nathan Knight. And their leading scorer came off the bench. His name was Jalen Now. Never heard of him.
I went to school with a dude named Nathan Knight. No cap.
It probably is him.
He probably did go to the NBA, bro. I don't know. Let's keep playing. I like the game.
Greg Monroe had a double-double.
You lying.
11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists off the bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves. Did you hear what he said? He said one of the guys asked did he know his teammates, and he said he had no idea who most of them was. An NBA game, bro.
That thing out.
Oh God, he's straight number 13. Go ahead. Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like we got guys coming from like high school JV teams to go to the NBA, bro. It's a problem. It's definitely a problem. And like I said, like Nick said, it's affecting quality of play, bro. Nobody wanted to see the Christmas Day games without Trae Young, bro. Like that's sneak preview. That's my starting point guard out of the East for the All-Star team. Like it's starting to really, like I said, it's starting to really affect the quality of play. I feel like it's starting to affect the pockets of the NBA game. Because why would you ever buy a ticket for an NBA game this season? Who's gonna be there? Gabe York? Who the hell want to watch Gabe York play? So I definitely think it's hurting their bottom line. I think it's hurting the quality of play, and I think it may hurt the overall product in the end because you're gonna have certain guys.
Wait, hey, hold on, my phone ring. Hello. Yeah, this is he. Actually, it's Daryl Morris. It's Daryl Morris. Hold on.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Yeah, I'm in shape. I'm good for a few up downs support. My 3-point percentage about 36, 37. What number I want to wear?
You should have said 40, bro. With you should have said 40.
I can get that 11. Say less. I'll be there in 24 hours.
This man just signed a 12-hour contract.
Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm happy for you, bro.
Damn, Millsap did a new slot receiver. That's crazy. That's crazy. But no, you got guys like Nick Hayes going to the NBA, bro. It's definitely a problem. And I don't know none of those folks. I can't disrespect them, but I really want to try not to. But like there's gonna be a percent of the guys in the NBA right now that has no business being there, and I don't think we want to watch that. And I think that it might mess up the playoff race. Like like I said, you have guys coming on 10 days. We all know guys. We all play video games that are like super sweaty, not really any skill, but they work their hard way into whatever. I think that's how Nick describes how Giannis plays. He's not that far off. But like you have like a super sweaty guy on a 10-day contract averaging 20 points a game, and now his team is in the playoff race. Like you're gonna have like stupid stuff like that. Like the Sacramento Kings might end up being a top 4 seed just because. Just,
bro, you saw the coach called Phillip Rivers and the Saints called Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't call Arch Manning because like something stupid happened. Like
that was probably next up.
They probably had the brother that can't. What's the brother, the man that got the spine injury?
Cooper.
Yeah, they probably called him next. Like I know your spine messed up, but can you run a slant? Like I'm saying, bro. I've been doing like I don't know if I can. I'm not a current athlete. I've been doing a lot of sports gambling right now. And it's even messing up that because I'm saying you can't even really set the line or feel me do over unders or any parlay till like 30 minutes for the game because like
I tried to get Nick to do that. I promise. Just past Sunday, I tried to get him to do that.
To do what?
Place a bet for me because I'm in Mississippi. He's in Tennessee.
I mean, I wouldn't either because I'm saying, like, perfect example. Nick's supposed to go to the game tonight. Is LeBron and Westbrook, is everybody playing?
I mean,
to my knowledge, yeah.
The hour and a half out now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They canceled the basketball games 45 minutes before it happened. First of all, like damn you, Tennessee and Memphis. But anyways, but no, that's what I'm saying. It's so much uncertainty out here and so much like, consistent change and things that are happening right now. There's no consistency whatsoever, and you can't operate like that long term.
And so you guys know how we always do it. Wrap up every episode with our game ball. And I'm gonna go first, man. I gotta give my game ball to the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver room, bro. We love good receiver play, and just listen to these stat lines, bro. Jamar Chase, 68 catches, 1,160 yards. T. Higgins, 71 catches, over 1,000 yards. Tyler Boyd, 63 receptions, almost 800 yards. That ball is getting spread around in Cincinnati. Them boys eating with that rock, bro. You love to see it because this is 3 receivers who may touch 1,000 yards in the same season, and that's really insane to think about, bro. So I got to give it to them boys in Cincinnati.
Man, I like it, Nick. I'll take another route since nobody wants to talk about basketball except me. I'll use my game ball as a place to highlight the current college basketball season. Jaden Ivey, aka Slim Reaper, aka Baby Zal Morant. This is a guy that a lot of people he participated in the FIBA U19, the Olympics this past summer, which is always a pretty good indicator of where NBA scouts think of your talent level. He had a pretty good freshman year as kind of the sidekick to Travion Williams for Purdue, and this year he has taken off essentially, averaging he jumped from 11 points to 16 points a game as kind of the feature scorer for that Purdue offense. Now that Travion Williams is on the bench as like their super 6-man, but most importantly for NBA scouts, really just his development, he has gone from a 25% 3-point shooter to 44%. That is a big jump. That is like you are not good at this at all, and now you are one of the best at it in the country type of jump. So, like that dude is a baller, man. I like that dude a lot, man. He's 6'3", 6'4", defends all over the place. He even looks like Ja with the hair. He got a really good stroke, and that dude is a blur in transition. When I first picked them, they had just got off their victory over Villanova, and you don't like in college basketball, small dominated. Think of like a Trae Young type of guy, some of those like those March Madness type guys that can really shoot. His looks like one of those guys that you tank for in terms of you can build your franchise around them. 6'4", shaky on Chet. But outside of those 2 guys and Jabari Smith, actually outside of those 3 guys, there's not a better basketball player in college. There's not a better player in college basketball right now than Jaden Ivey. And man, if I had to pick right now, just because of Purdue's depth, they might be my national championship favorites just because of how well he's been playing, how well their team's been playing, and how well he's been playing as the leader of that team.
You make me actually want to watch a Purdue game. Not gonna lie to you, I was gonna give my game ball to Kyrie Irving, for standing up for what he believes in. But I'm not gonna endorse not getting vaccinated, bro. Go get vaccinated. With that being said, I'm gonna endorse another problem child. and his nickname is the Problem Child, and that's Jake the Snake Paul. You know, another knockout
Hey,
for him.
bro.
Bro.
Hey, Nick, wrap this up, bro. Wrap this up, bro.
Stop playing with
Wrap
him,
this,
bro.
wrap this up, bro.
Stop playing. Heavy hitter like Javante Davis.
Hey, bye. Bye.
And with that being said, bro, this has been another episode of No Cap Sports. You know, subscribe to us, check us out, YouTube, Apple Pod, whatever you listen to it on. Later.
And with that, we out of here.